Hey guys, so I've got a really sore throat and sound like a mess. Hey guys, how are you doing? So today I thought I'd do another myths about video. Yes, I know you've had a lot of them recently and I don't want this channel to get too samey or anything, but it's one that I've wanted to do for a while and my recent videos have been full of salt. So I wanted to do one that was really unproblematic for once. Maybe keep some of these lovely subscribers I have. Don't leave me, I need your money. As some of you may know, I've recently started practicing Wicca and I find it really helpful and really positive, and I've also got a lot of hate for it from other religions, not naming any, Christians. So I thought I'd use this opportunity to debunk some of those myths as usual, and as I've said, I'm new to this and it's not really a major way of life for me and it's not necessarily something I know loads about, but if I talk about what Wicca is and what it means to me, then hopefully people will have a more full understanding. Now, some of you may know a little bit about energies, and energy is something that's in the world everywhere anyway. It's not something that can always be explained. Energy can be explained a bit by science. You learn at school about kinetic energy and light energy and stuff like that. But energy is just something that's everywhere. If you've heard of crystal healing, if you've heard of people using crystals, crystal healing, stuff like that, that works on the basis of, that works on the energy of, that works on the level of energy. It works on an energetic level. So I have some crystals here. Different crystals have different properties and everything. Different crystals have different properties. Basically everything in the world gives off different vibrations on a molecular level. That's how energy works. If you look at like heat on a molecular level, that has vibrations, that's a type of energy. Yes. So everything has its own energy. That's why crystals are used, because their energy can influence you. Different colours have different energies, different candles, different herbs, things like that. And that's what energy is. If you've ever done yoga, if not, what are you doing with your life? Then you'll know that yoga works a lot with energies such as chakras, which are different points within your body that are centres of energy. So if all your chakras are balanced, in other words, if all the centres of energy within your body are balanced, then you can feel more at peace, everything's in harmony. Whereas if one of your chakras is in overdrive or is very closed off, then your energy levels are not in balance, and then you might feel stress, you might experience anxiety, etc., etc. That is a basic, very basic overview of how energies work within the body and within objects.
Wicca is a more sophisticated way of dealing with that. So doing some yoga might help your root chakra, if you're having issues with that, help your heart chakra, whatever, and deal with the energy levels within your body.
Wicca goes into a bit more detail with this. The first myth that I will dispel is that Wiccans are Satanists. It's all tied in with Satanism, that Wiccans and witches worship the devil. That is so wrong. There's no history of belief in the devil in witchcraft. That's something that has come about since the Middle Ages and the times that the Christians were persecuting the witches and accusing basically anyone of devil worship, whether it was women who are a bit weird, homosexuals, etc., witches, Jews, just anyone who they didn't like, because the church at that time were very problematic and were just burning lots of people and drowning them, and it was a horrible time, and it started this whole witches are devil worshippers thing, or that anything that was different was devil worship, and it meant that lots of people died, even people who weren't witches, and it's a belief that's happened to this day because Wicca and witchcraft is not a mainstream religion or whatever, and it's not something that is really well publicised, so people still believe this, and it's very problematic. Even The joy of my heart, little Sammy Winchester. It's a belief that's still perpetuated to this day because of ignorance and there not being enough information available about something like this, which is not a mainstream religion or whatever. So it's just one of those annoying things. Many people believe it, including the joy of my heart, Sam Winchester.
Witchcraft, huh, Gary? You little satanic bastard.
Why, Sammy, why? You were so unproblematic. Do I look like a Satan worshipper to you? Do I? Belief in Satan traces back to many mainstream religions like the Abrahamic religions. Buddhism mentions that sort of thing. And in ancient times, for example ancient Egypt, there is a belief in the devil or some form of Satan, who may not have that name, but that is a belief that comes from many belief systems. It hasn't really been talked about in witchcraft. Witchcraft is more about making positive energies with different things. It's basically a recipe. That's what spells are. There's nothing dodgy going on. Another belief is that Wicca or witchcraft is evil, and that comes from the same thing, from hearsay from many years ago, that people used propaganda and stuff against that belief system. Actually, as I've said, these things are about creating a positive energy and making yourself feel better, maybe healing somebody else. It's not evil, it's actually very positive. There is a belief within Wicca that you should not go against free will, so whereas somebody could make a love spell to make someone love them or to invite some love into their life, you can't make a love spell to make a certain person love you, because that goes against their free will, and that's not okay. Likewise, if you were getting a lot of negative energy from people, you could do a spell to dispel that negative energy, which is fine. But if you made a spell to make that person go away and leave you alone, that would go against their free will. Yes, they should leave you alone, but Wicca is not meant to go against free will. You will find spells online that break this rule and maybe wish harm on a person, or wish a person to love them, wish a person to go away and leave them alone, or whatever. These exist, but honestly it's against that belief and it's against my belief. So no, Wicca is not evil in that respect. It's actually fundamentally very positive. Another myth is that we do magic. This kind of magic. Well, unfortunately, I never got my Hogwarts letter. I'm pretty sure it's in the post, or it got lost in the post. It's probably in some sorting office somewhere, you know. I'm sure there was some issue with that. I didn't go to Hogwarts. I don't know anyone who did go to Hogwarts. We do use the term magic for what we do, and that does sound very magical. Magic is a term used to mean unexplained science. So when I was training to be a yoga teacher, we learned a lot about Eastern philosophy. And a lot of Eastern philosophy stems from in the East, in India. Before the Indic religions started, there were people who were monks and studied the earth and studied every little thing and discovered that every little thing in the universe has its own energy and its own vibration. And they use this to practice that type of philosophy, and that is where yoga or a lot of yogic practices come from. That is basically an unexplained science, because to this day there are people who say that energies are a pseudoscience and they don't exist and they're not really real, or they don't really have properties or whatever that people think they do. And there are people who say that modern science is starting to explain the ancient science, and we are starting to discover it in that way through modern science. So there are different beliefs on the subject, but basically many people believe that this ancient science is still largely unexplained by modern science, but modern science is starting to discover it and find out what it is and prove some things. So in that sense it is an unexplained science. Now if you used an iPad in the 1400s, they would call that magic, because it would be an unexplained science. That's what it is. It's just a science that many of us believe is a science and believe exists, but it's not fully explained by modern science. So there's no flying, no hippogriffs, unfortunately. As far as I'm aware, no unicorns. If you spot a unicorn or you know any unicorns, please let me know in the comments below, because I have yet to meet one. Or if you can fly, let me know in the comments. But until then, that's what is meant by the term magic, and that's what Wiccans are referring to when they use the term. Another one, and it sort of ties in with what I've just said, is that we fly on brooms. I personally don't fly. I don't have a broom, but I do have this handy parasol. As far as I know, it can't fly, so that's obviously a huge disappointment to me. But witches / Wiccans, whatever, do use brooms, and they use them to just sweep the area and clean it up. My room has carpet, so it's probably not a good idea to do that. I should probably use a hoover. A big part of doing a spell is that you have to clean and tidy the area beforehand, so it's a nice clean area. And the reason they use brooms is that, as I've said, different types of wood and things have different energies. So using a hazelwood broom or a willow broom or whatever will possibly have a different energy, a different effect on the spell. That is what brooms are used for. So that is where the whole witches having broomsticks comes from. Like I said, I don't personally have one, I use a hoover. But if I did have one, I'm sorry to say I probably wouldn't be able to fly. Number 5 is the belief that Wicca is a religion. Now this isn't entirely untrue, but it isn't entirely true either. It is a practice that you can practice as you like. So fundamentally in Wicca there is a belief in the goddess or goddesses, and many Wiccans believe that, and that is part of their personal faith. They believe that the goddess exists and they do spells and things to please her. You can also be an atheist Wiccan and you can be a Christian Wiccan. There is no reason why not, because it's not a religion. It's not a belief system that's based around a belief in God. It is based around a belief in good practices, in taking care of nature, taking care of the animals, and doing things which promote a positive energy, which promote positive thinking. That is something that is important to many people. You don't have to be a Wiccan to believe in these things and to want to be positive, but it helps some people. Some people have a belief in a god or gods and pray to them, and some people that is not helpful to them, and they may make positivity and love their own way. Some Christians would be horrified by the thought of being a Christian Wiccan. That is because they have been taught that it ties into evil and that we all fly on brooms and turn people into frogs and do terrible things, which, as I've already said, is not true. You don't have to be a Christian Wiccan. You can just be a Christian and not do the Wiccan things. It really doesn't matter. You do you. But in all honesty, you don't have to have a belief in any gods or a religion. It can be practiced alongside a religion or with no religion at all, or as a religion on its own. It really depends on the individual and what they personally believe. If you want to know that sort of thing more in depth, please go to a different video or a different blog. If there's someone who can enlighten me, let me know, because I'm always looking for more information. That's just something that I thought you guys would like to know about. I have ordered some goods on the internet. It is some white sage, which is something that Wiccans burned to purify the air for a spell. I think it can be used in lots of different ways. It actually stems from Native American culture, which I'm interested in. So let's open that now. There are lots of goodies that you can buy for this sort of practice on the internet. This is not a spawn, but this comes from, oh, it's from Germany. Native Spirit. This is from Native Spirit. Hashtag no spawn.
My goodies, my goodies, my goodies, not my goodies. It is my goodies, because I paid for it. Thank you. Oh, you're so handwriting, thank you. And there's a receipt.
So here it is. This is called a smudge stick. It's not for makeup. It sounds like a makeup product, but it's called a smudge stick. And the Native Americans would burn it to purify the air. It was very sacred to them. There are, I'm going to be problematic again, there are people who say this is cultural appropriation because it's sacred to Native Americans. So if you're white, it shouldn't be sacred to you. But to that I say that Christianity, as we've been mentioning a lot, comes from the Middle East, and that can be sacred to you wherever you come from. It really does not matter. This is a dish to use it in. It is actually a beautiful shell. You can burn it in here, obviously.
Clean your environment first, tidy it up, and make sure that you're not going to make a fire. Don't put it near the curtains. Make sure the area is well ventilated. Blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't need to say these things, but I am.
It literally smells like pizza. It smells like oregano, like basil. basil, if you remember. No, wait. It's got like a lemony bergamot. It's really good. I'm going to put it in here. I'm not going to burn it because the room is a mess and it won't be a good idea to burn this now. But I wish I could waft it. I'm dropping sun over. I wish I could waft it to you. It smells really good. It actually smells very edible. It probably is. You could probably cook with that sort of thing. It's kind of white. I mean, it's called white sage. It's not white, but it's quite pale looking. It smells very good. And this beautiful shell. Yes, I approve this. So I thought I'd end this with a nice spell. It's just going to hopefully be a really quick spell to bring positivity to my life and hopefully to your lives too. If it agrees with you, you can say some words with me or not. You can watch out of interest and see what I do. As I said, the first part of doing any spell is to have a tidy and clean environment. Oh. Well, okay, I'll see you in 5 minutes. Hi, so you will need a glass of water, a white candle. I don't have white, but this one is pink, and pink is for love energy, so hopefully this will give us a lot of love or a lot of self-love. A box of matches, some crystals, some salt water to cast your circle, and the words that you need, which for me are on my phone. And once you cast your circle, you're not meant to leave, so you have to have everything that you need within the circle. And as you can see, an altar cloth if you have one. Now to cast your circle, you just put the salt water around the edge. I unfortunately don't have a salt gun and I don't have a silver blade, but I have some salt to keep the demons away, so Sam and Dean will hopefully be very proud of me. So you're meant to have candles, one at each edge of the circle, one facing north, one facing south, east and west for the points of the compass. I'm not going to use candles because I'm a wild rebel that can't be tamed, so I'm going to use crystals. This is jade, which banishes negativity. This is lemon chrysoprase, which is for positivity and banishing anxiety. This is howlite, which is for soothing us and making us feel calm. And this is aventurine, which is for overcoming addictions, addictive behaviour, having willpower, following your goals, achieving your dreams, etc. So what you need to do is light the white candle, or the pink candle in this case. How symmetrical it is. Have the water next to it and just breathe into your calm. Say the following prayer. I open my body and mind to the vibration of God and Goddess, to a time of quiet energy. I release that which is past and open my mind to the future, that I may be embraced in the healing of the sun. And as begins its own growth, I claim this power with trust and faith. Then you sit quietly for a moment and stare at the candlelight. Yes, we can speed this one up. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a peaceful place and just breathe in that peacefulness. Remembering the peace that you felt, then close your eyes again and imagine yourself surrounded by a purple glow or a purple orb and feel calmness and serenity. Close your eyes and breathe with this and feel the peace filling your body. Continue feeling this way and breathing like this and visualizing for as long as you can, and then open your eyes and say, as I will, so may it be. And the spell is done. Now, as we've already cast our circle, we need to close our circle. So we have our stones to the north, south, east and west. This is the north. So you start at the east and put your hand over the candle or crystal and say, depart in peace, O power of air. Depart in peace, O power of fire. Depart in peace, O power of water. Depart in peace, O power of earth. Then you can tidy up all of your... Thanks for watching this, guys. I hope you found it interesting. This is actually the last video for a while that I'm going to be doing on my own. My next video is going to be a collab with my Christian buddy Beth Mead, so link to her channel will be in the description. That's going to be the first collab I've ever done, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. Also, my family and I are hosting at my house a sleep out for Bethany Children's Trust, helping street children in Africa and across the world. But I have set up a Just Giving page for that, so if you want to sponsor that, I will put the link in the description and you can give to my cause. I hope whatever religion you are, or if you have no religion at all, you have a lovely day and get all the positivity and love that you deserve. If you want to see more of this beautiful face, hit the big red button. Blessed be and namaste.